Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in this video, we're going to take a deeper look into the load simulator method of this class, and hopefully this will help you to be able to get started. So if you are lost, this is a great video for you to watch. So let's get in and have a look. Right, let's move on to business now and start looking at getting the boilerplate code from my GitHub and repository and into your Python file so you can start coding this. And in this video, I will go through the first part where I think you should start, because I think it'll be the best place for you to start. Okay, so yours is not going to look like this. So because I'm obviously making this now, I'm breaking the fourth wall, talking to you about work, but this will be public. So you will see this probably here. It could be right here in front of you. You will have to search in my repositories for this, my first big Python project. And as you can see here right now, while we film this video, it says that it's private. So what we'll do is just click here. Just bear with me, guys. I traveled into Europe like 10 days ago, just under 10 days ago, and every time I go and see family, which is actually quite regularly, I always end up with flu symptoms, the old, pandemic flu symptoms. So just excuse me, I'm so blocked up. So, and the thing is, for me, it's so normal, I don't even think about it, but I've just realized now that I probably sound ridiculous. So, okay, we're in this repository, and it's got a little explanation of what it's about. Okay, what you'll be doing in the next week or so, depending on how quickly you code this. But we want to go to the project instructions again. Scroll down. So obviously we've talked about this. I'm going to breeze through it, and this is the boilerplate code that we quickly sort of scrolled past while we were discussing this. And I'm going to copy it in the corner here, and you will have that option too. And then go to your IDE that you are using, and you want to make some sort of, Python extension file. So basically, you've done this 1,000 times. Just do it your way. Name it whatever you'd like. I recommend even just calling it carsim, okay? Something like that, so that when somebody comes looking, they will recognize the file immediately and they'll be able to open it and look at your code. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the boilerplate code in. Okay, so boilerplate code is in, and I just want to explain this at the top. You can see here that I have import time. The reason why that's there, it's so that you can use pauses in your program to emulate the program is running the simulator. So the car is driving and stuff like that. So there can be time between each thing happening, even if it's only like 3 seconds. And I'll show you an example of this in the output when we get to that video. But for now, I just wanted you to see that. It's really important that you understand that this will be used later. As you can see, I wrote this inside that markdown file, so my indentations are not correct. So let's correct these indentations before we go any further. Okay, and it's very rare that you will be given boilerplate code, okay? It's very rare, but this is classed as like the absolute beginner self-driven kind of project that you'll be given in most institutional educational courses, let's say. So first of all, let's just go through what we have here. So we have the speed, which is initialized at 0. We have the gear. So gear is set at first gear, and the direction is 0, which again is not correct. So one of the first things you should probably do when you get to run simulation is to change this to 12. Otherwise, you're going to be outputting 0, 0, 0 until you make your initial turn. So that's a hint. Make sure that says 12 because the car needs to be pointing directly forward, and forward is 12 o'clock. Broken, is the car broken? It's not broken, so it's false. Self.stimulation, this will be the commands that will be pulled from simulation. This is empty at the moment. So this is what will be pulled from simulation here. It will all be placed in here. This is the list that we will be talking about during our conversations in the next 2 minutes. And then simulation loaded, that allows, again, you don't get to decide what is here, so you're going to have to manipulate this. So you're obviously going to have to make it conditional. So if simulation is loaded, we can go ahead and run the commands through a whole bunch of if statements. Otherwise, we have to then tell the user simulation is not loaded. So we have to decide where we're going to change this. All right, so now that we've gone through this, the best place to start is by looking at what is in here. Okay, and the first thing that our company is asking us to do is to load simulation. This obviously is what's called initializing an object. So we've now initialized the car object, which is basically making this class a variable. If you don't understand it, I recommend that you go and watch some videos or ask ChatGPT to teach you what that is. Okay, the next thing we're doing is we're obviously loading simulation, and the brief has said the name of the file that will be sent into this class is called simulation.txt and simulation.txt. Okay, and when it's passed into this method, its name is file name. Okay, so from here on forward, simulation.txt will be known as file name. So the first thing we need to do is, okay, when we're going to go through this and talk, I'm going to be vague. I'm going to be very blasé. I'm going to give you a general passover of how this method is going to work. It's down to you. It's up to you to figure this out. Okay, this is what this playlist on YouTube is about. It's about me giving you as much information as I can without giving you the complete answer. But I will give you this so that you can get on your way. Okay, the first thing you're going to need to obviously do is make a file stream. Okay, I think that's what you do in Python. Okay, you're going to need to make a file stream. Actually, let's make this a little bit nicer. Make a file stream. You are then going to need to open file in the way that Python does it, using file name. Again, look back at your past programs where you have pulled files, where you have done file handling. There we go, that's better. And this will help you. This is simple, because I may as well tell you now, all you're doing is you're using a file stream to pull text from simulation.txt, and you're placing it into a list. This is what we're doing here, okay? So now that we do this, the next thing we need to do is we need to loop over file stream. Okay, so we're going to loop over the file stream, and then we need to place every command into the list in, okay. Then we need to close the file because that's really important. And then change sim loaded boolean. Okay. So this is what you need to do in the most vaguest way that I can give it to you. This is the best way for me to describe how to be able to get you started. So I'm hoping this will help. Okay, and so once the simulation is loaded, of course, the next thing we need to do is to go and see what our command is asking for us. And the next thing, obviously, is to run simulation. So what we're going to do is we're going to end this because nice short videos are going to be better than watching these long freaking ass videos. So let's jump into the next video and see how we can write the method run simulation.